Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning.
And I'm Trinity French.
And we are your business coaches at Wired to Change.
With the number 2.
We help you get your business to the level you want it to be so you can enjoy the life of a small business owner.
It feels super
That's
good
us,
today.
isn't it? Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
it
we're
does.
loving this.
Yes, it does.
We are on episode number 3 with Scott Rutter and Dyrke Maricle from Goosehead Insurance. These guys know what they're doing. They can write business all over the United States, and they're working on getting certified in Europe for all of our wonderful listeners east of the Eastern time zone, west of the whatever they are. So
all time zones.
Yes.
All time
so
zones.
Glad to have you guys back again. Previous 2 podcasts, wonderful knowledge. Today it's marketing and sales, and
my favorite
I
topic.
wedged this 3rd podcast in for this reason. Because you, in the last month, Scott, you've just all of a sudden showed up everywhere. And it may not have been the last month, could be a little bit longer. You have your podcast, 10, 12 minutes, right? Gaggle with the Geese. You just started that. You're posting Fool. But the Rockstar Connect part of it, and I want you to explain a little bit about that for people who don't know what Rockstar Connect is and why you are the National Director of Business Development for Rockstar Connect.
Yeah, definitely. So that's actually kind of how Dyrke and I got started and how this whole partnership kind of, unraveled. So being the networking fool that I am and the posting fool that I am, I've just always truly enjoyed networking. You know, there's no more rewarding feeling than being able to your point earlier on the podcast, Trinity, just being that connector. Mm-hmm. You know, you put people together and then they end up being phenomenal friends, and just it's amazing to see what could come out of those things.
She collects people.
She collects
Let
people.
me correct. Yes,
I do connect people.
Some network, but
Collecting
she collects. Yes.
I do, yes.
That's our next podcast, Collect and Connect.
Yes,
so anyways,
collect and connect.
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, even in roles where I didn't need to do it, like SunTrust Bank, for example, they're not acquisition-based at all. They're all about deepening client relationships within what they have. But I did it. You know, I went out to Business and Beers, which is awesome. It's ran by Louis Vitello and Chuck Norman. They do an incredible job. And I'd actually reached out to someone in California, Rhonda Scherer, who's a LinkedIn trainer, and she put me in touch with Stephen David Elliott, who's the CEO and visionary of Rockstar Connect. And, you know, I went to a couple of his events and was impressed with, you know, the value in which Rockstar Connect, they're the largest event management company in the U.S. So it's kind of networking in a box, you know, and they really help you get that, you know, local celebrity status, which could turn into national celebrity status and everything else. So, you know, I had a vision for starting, you know, a Rockstar Connect, but wanted to do it differently than what a lot of the other hosts did it and how they ran it and everything else, because I wanted it to be about give back to community. So every other month, what we do at Rockstar Sphere is we make it about giving back to the community. And
I think the most important thing that we decided to do is there's so many different networking events that are out there that just focus on, we're going to provide you the opportunity, now go.
It's a cattle call.
Yeah, and that has always bothered me. It just because it leaves people out. I mean, if you're like Scott and I, where I don't mind going up and saying hi and, you know, getting to know who you are and, you know, seeing if there's a mutual relationship. But for so many people that network, you just see them sitting up at the bar. There's free food. They've got their napkin and they're just shoveling, you know, mozzarella sticks in their mouth. And I mean, they don't really see anybody. Or there's the people that go and like, oh, well, there's my BNI group. I'm going to go over and I'm going to talk with them. And that's great. You're networking with them, but you're not networking. And so I think that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to give the opportunity to people to come to our event, but it's not going to be a spray and pray. You're not going to grab everybody's card and you're not going to hit them up later and hope that I just make one sale. We want you to meet 3 people. We're giving you the opportunity. We do games and we do events to give you the opportunity to meet 3 people. And at that point, you can figure out if you can form a relationship with them to then come back to the next one and leverage those relationships to meet 3 more people. And that's how we made it a little bit different, because it's difficult to network with 15 people and build that relationship with all 15. I mean, spend better time focusing on building that relationship with those people right there in that moment, and then go on and develop it up with a one-to-one later on that week.
And then the networking event, Dyrke, that I met you at was the go-karting place. And it was Nikki Crow, our friend, who said, Mike, I've been telling you about this event for 3 months. It's the best one going. Get your ass down here. And I'm like, all right, for Nikki, I went. If anybody else told me I'm not going, but she got me down there. I met you. which led to you being on my BNI podcast, which led to a relationship with you two getting here, but also met Bruce Hill.
Yeah.
And he and I have talked, we've talked with Bruce about some stuff. And I met another person there that the name escapes me, but I'm following up with him here probably sometime in June. So because you made...
Scott Bloomer.
No, I knew Scott before then, yeah. But you made 4 people sit at a table for quality time. Not like, okay, everybody's got a minute, go.
Intentionality.
We were there 20 minutes, yeah. You pulled names out of the hat, but 4 of us were forced to sit there, and you know what? It worked out great.
And that was our smallest event. That had 40 people. That was our smallest event that we had
that was
the whole
perfect
time.
size.
And so we were trying to sit here, like, what do we do? I mean, you know, there was something going on that I think there was something going on that week, or there was that kept our
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, it was St. Patrick's Day, and so we were like, oh, we're not gonna have anybody. And you know, so the people that did show up were like, well, what do we do? Let's do a fun game that isolates these people together and force them for 20 minutes talk, but do not talk about your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about who you are. Talk about your passions. Talk about your goals. Talk about your family.
And we did, yeah. Yep.
And people actually, I mean, the response that we got from our lowest attended event was our highest rated event that we've done.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
because I wasn't there.
Well,
so see,
I wasn't really going to say that.
So here's my takeaway from that, and from talking to you guys today, for anybody listening out there, that if you don't like networking, kind of how to network, but create your own event, right? If you go to 5 events and you like 20% of each one of them, there's your event right there. Just start it. I think some people are afraid to start their own. We did our first sales presentation. There were 3 people there, but you know what? We had a presentation with 3 people there.
it was 80%.
Right?
It was 80%.
It was 80%.
Yeah. But it's okay. So you're going to have there are going to be some, you're going to fall on your face a couple times. But you started the event.
Remember that Wine and Wisdom event where like 6 people showed up
Oh,
because
the
there was
storm.
a thunderstorm that came through?
Oh.
And I was crestfallen because normally we have 30 or so people and it's a little bit smaller group, but we do icebreakers and we have fun, and it's very on purpose. I call it on purpose networking.
Purposeful.
Man, I was like, Mike, this is going to be horrible. There's only 6 people here. It wound up being one of our best. We sat down at a table together and everybody got to know each other.
We were all at one table.
And it
and
was
those 6
fantastic.
people really wanted to be there. So.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
really learned from each other and they were able to develop a much deeper connection. And they were like, this was great. They were like all really stoked about it. And so it's not always about the number of people, it's about the quality of the relationships that you can create from the people that you have.
But part of your sales and marketing plan can be starting your own event. And some people are afraid to do it, and there may be 5 people there. But you know what? If it's run correctly, those 5 people are going to tell people, and you'll eventually probably get it to where you want it to be.
Well, that's where something like a Rockstar does help. If you don't know how to start your own event, if you don't have the social network to start your own event, and that's been the big key, is that they will use their network to help you start that event. And it's been a big help. I mean, maybe that doesn't mean it's a forever thing. It just means you're going to build up your credibility and relationship in order to grow your network so you can host your own event.
Yeah, rockstarconnect.com is a way to go. Stephen David Elliott, obviously does a phenomenal job. Again, this thing is monetized throughout the U.S. There's over 100 events that take place. We're just one of, the many, 100 of chapters, but it's great. And, I think our vision too with Sphere was, we partnered with 4 other people. So we're all leveraging one another's networks, which definitely helps with the attendance as well. Because people, like you said, Mike, are going to come because I'm coming out of loyalty.
Oh, yeah,
out of
to
loyalty
Nikki.
to
I'll
Nikki.
go anywhere
Right.
she wants. Tell me
That's
to go now.
absolutely right.
I think it's important for people, especially if you have a business that requires you to have a relationship in order to be successful. The one thing that I encourage people to do is do one uncomfortable thing every single day. And I don't care what it is, just do something that makes you feel awkward.
Awkward to awesome.
Because eventually that awkward is, it's going to become habit. And it's going to be something easy for you to do. And I mean, if you are relying on those relationships and you're going to networking events and you are not taking that uncomfortable moment to walk into the middle of a group that's already talking and introduce yourself, you're losing so much business and so much opportunity of growing your business by doing it. I know it's uncomfortable. I hate it. I mean, I'm not an introvert. I mean, I'm an extrovert. I just, I just
You're
it was
impatient.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I got I'm barging in, and you got that thing. Well, what if they think I'm a moron? What if what if I say something absolutely stupid when I go in the middle there? I mean, all these things are rushing through your head, but just do it. And even if you say something stupid, I mean, chances are most of these people are. I mean, they're networking. They've said stupid things too. They'll accept you and just let you bring you into your group. You've automatically met 3 other people just by doing that one uncomfortable thing. Then go grab one person and go sit and eat mozzarella sticks for the rest of the night. You've already succeeded. You don't need to do it again. You've succeeded. Just go and use those relationships later on.
We make assumptions about that group of 5 people.
Oh,
they're not going to want to talk to. Oh, they're good. Yeah.
Looking glass self is absolutely horrible.
Yeah. But they're there for the same reason you are, like I said, to meet people.
That's it.
And they probably would welcome.
Man, I've been to some really shitty networking events where I'm like, I will never come back to this because people are clicked up and they're just there for each other and had so boo to you crappy networking events. But
I'm going to say something too. I mean, I was a bad networker there for a while because, when I'd go out, I'd hang around the same people. Much like, we force it at Sphere to make people, meet and make it very uncomfortable, but comfortable through the games and the themes and the things we come up with. But when I go out with some of my banking buddies to the business and beers, we'd all just hang out in the clique.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I mean, when I took the job with First Citizens, I'm like, that is acquisition based. I'm like, let's do this. Let's all do 4 corners. And then the thing is, it's, hey, you got to go meet my good friend, Josh, or
Yes.
you've got to go meet my good friend. Let's get a beer before or after, during, but there's no need for us to just, stay clammed together. So I think there's so much power. You should always partner up when you go to a networking event, so you've got that yin and yang.
I call it triangulation.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Yep. It's and Trinity's talked about this on a number of podcasts. The kind of what you do before you even walk into an event.
Yes. So I am what I call a shy extrovert. Meeting new people makes me entirely uncomfortable. But once I know people, I'm like,
She collects them.
you're my best friend. Yay. But man, that first awkward moment, that's why I started my networking event, because I wanted something that I could be in charge of and running to take the pressure off from the fact that I didn't have to be just an attendee. But when I go to somebody else's networking event, like if I was going to come to a Rockstar event, I would reach out to Scott and say, Scott, who are your top 3 people that are going to be there? What are their names? What do they do? And
Have them meet me at the door.
well, that's even better. But then I'm going to go find those people and I'm going to go up to them and say, hey, Dyrke, I asked Scott who the top 3 people are that he said that I had to meet, and you are one of them.
That's smart.
And then instantly we have a connection because it's you. And now I'm talking, they feel great because they're one of your favorite people. And it gives us just a
Instant
really
connection.
warm, instant connection. And then I can then go from them. And then I'm like, so who else do you know here that I should meet? And then I just kind of meander my way through getting introductions from other people. And so there's never that awkward moment where I'm the one sitting shoving my face full of mozzarella sticks, which sounds really good right now.
And we're not knocking that. Let's be clear. But the other thing that what she does, that strengthens your relationship, because you're like, oh, Scott said that about me. Oh, But and she goes with a purpose instead of going back to the pray and spray or spray and pray. Yeah, I
like that. I'm stealing that.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great.
I stole it from somewhere else, so yeah, you can have it. It's not patented.
Not now.
But networking is an art form, and the only way that you can get better at it is to do more of it. And it's not something that in business you always have to do at the same rate, because when you're first starting in business, you have to ramp up and build your database of people that you're going to be networking with. And then you don't need to be out going to a million different events all week long, but when I first started in real estate, I was out almost every single night. I was at everything that I could potentially go to, and I was finding the top 2 or 3 people at each of those events that I liked. And that's how I started my own event. I was like, hey, come, I like you, come hang out with me at my event. Yeah. And that's where Ninja Networking started from, was collecting people that I thought were awesome from all these other groups that, we're sitting there going, this group is really we're not getting a whole lot out of this.
And there's no vodka. Yeah.
And there's no vodka.
Going back to your point, Dyrke, about the referral partners and networking, the event Scott and I were on last night, I was there because of Mark and Tiffany.
Love that.
No other reason. Because we had met with them earlier that day, just kind of spitballing, hey, they do different things. They love accounting stuff and all. And we're sales and marketing stuff more so. So we talked about that. But that's the only reason I got on there. It was 7 o'clock at night. Wasn't real happy about being on there. And I told Tiffany, she goes, Mike, how you doing? In the chat box. I'm here because of you and Mark, Tiffany. So.
Nikki and Mark and Tiffany, you're there.
Right.
You're there.
But what I liked about that event, and it's difficult during coronavirus, if you have to host a Zoom event, you don't make it 2 hours anymore. It's 1 hour and be done, but you got to have a purpose. So Steve and David Elliott, the beautiful thing was I think there was 15 people on there. So I could get on there. It's like, okay, this is nice. And there were 3 people on there I'd not met that I needed just to get FaceTime. And he was one of them, and he mentioned that. But he just kind of went around the room. Everybody kind of got to talk a little bit. It was comfortable. It was not threatening. It was easy to do. And it was 1 hour.
He's a master.
Yeah.
I mean, how he moderated that event. It's a Success is Contagious platform, which is another part of Rockstar Connect.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's 3 programs that exist within that. You know, it's awesome.
I think you kind of brought something up that hit a chord with me. There's a couple different ways, and you know, the way that Trinity is going to network is a little bit different than the way that I network. And one of the reasons is because, you know, your customer exists all over. I mean, you know, as far as they are in a specific market at that time to want to buy a house or to sell a house, and it could be anybody. But for Scott and I, our customers exist. I mean, like, we have a very unique niche to where we are very driven in the new home market or the refinance market. So our networking partners are mostly lenders. I mean, some realtors, but mostly mortgage lenders.
Anybody touching real estate.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so one of the things that I see a lot of people do, especially in our industry, and struggle, is they go and they try to network with everybody. And that's okay for some people because everybody could potentially be a customer. For us, a referral partner that brings in business after business after business is a very unique person. And so if you come and you put this list together of 100 different people that you want to network with, you are going to become a little bit known with 100 different people. Our philosophy is a little bit different to where I narrow down 20 people that I want to work with exclusively. And I want to be everything to that 20 people. I want them to know that this guy has my back. And so we break it up to where you can split it up. We have an A week and a B week. And there's a group of people that are on our A week, and there's another group of people that are on our B week. And we get to touch them at least 2 times a month. And that way it just kind of goes back and forth, and you know if you go through this, and I'll be the first to admit, I fail at that list miserably just because it is. You think it sounds simple. It is very difficult to do the follow-ups, even with 10 people, when you kind of get in the zone of just trying to get business written and get done. But at least it holds you accountable to say, these 10 people are on my list this week. I need to I'd like to do one lunch with them, back when we used to do those things, that, you know, kind of like handshakes and all those things that no longer happen anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but now I can do different things, such as, you know, why don't you send them like a set of Rubik's Cubes to their family, or do things
puzzle.
So they can, you know, show that you still care. But I know that I can touch them here, and then I go on to next week, and I touch them there, and then I go on to next week, and it allows me to be intentional with a small group of people. Whereas I've seen a lot of people come in and they brought poinsettias, you know, at Christmas time, and pumpkin pies at Thanksgiving time, and they never built one real relationship. And so I think that you just be very careful when you are networking. Understand your business and understand who your referral partners are, and analyze, as part of your business plan that we talked about, what does that look like when I am networking? Who do I really want to be intentional about building that relationship with? And can I really add somebody else into my network and be able to manage that relationship the way that it needs to be managed?
Great point.
People do not count that as part of their sales and marketing plan. So I'm glad you guys explain that to people, because we always think, oh, sales, okay, I've got to buy a radio ad or I got a cold call. But when you get to the point you want to get at, like you guys, referrals only, that's the hard work you have to put in, but it pays the dividends.
Well, and I've started with Wired to Change and with my real estate business. And even when I was recruiting at Hunter Row, I've done all 3 by referral only. So I don't know any other way to work than by building relationships. That is my wheelhouse. If you told me that I had to pick up the phone and cold call 10 people, I would probably wind up in the corner in a trash can throwing up, because it would make me
with your new bottle of wine.
With my new bottle of wine, it would make me feel so sick to my stomach to have to do that. And I think that, it's the least expensive way to market your business. You get to pick who you want to work with, and your residual income is higher. Now, I don't get, I wish that I got paid a little bit on every house every year, but I don't. That would be nice, but, it is what it is. But my clients come back to me. So when they need something a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, because I'm keeping in contact with them regularly, I'm the one that they're going to come back to. And I win a lot of clients because they don't want to go back to their agent because they either had a bad experience or they purely just forgot about that person. They can't even remember their name.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about your A week and B week, just the intent of it makes you aware. Otherwise, you're like, I'll get to them. I need to call these 20 people twice. Tomorrow's May 1st. I need to call these 20 people twice in May. Got it. No, you don't. Yeah. You didn't force yourself to do anything.
Yeah, we have a Google Doc that's set up that helps us constantly go to track our activity, to track our sales, but also to track our referral partner activity.
Yeah. And with that small core people, those are the people that we want to rent a yacht or actually Sullivan Steakhouse, and just do something fun. Maybe
for our current referral partners that are listening to this, we have not started that yet, so I don't want you to feel left out if that has not happened to you.
It'll be the headline.
But it is in the future. I've got
there we go.
I've got 10 referral partners currently sending me about 5 deals a week.
I could just see
like some that
Dave is sitting out there like, what in
the heck?
Hold on, who's
been on this show?
I didn't get the yacht invite. Yeah. What is going on?
I got a freaking Rubik's Cube and somebody got a yacht.
Well, a yacht, it's more pontoon boat. But again, we will grow up to the yacht.
Can be more fun.
So it can be a lot more fun. Yeah. So, but Trinity, I love what you said earlier. It's and you're a resource. So it's a one-stop shop. Just call Trinity, right? Mm-hmm. So because they're gonna trust you to who do you recommend for insurance, or who do you recommend for mortgage, or who do you recommend for a plumber? And it's about, being that value resource. They're going to call you for everything.
Right. I'm their little yellow pages.
That's right.
Yeah. I tell guys in B&I, because I do new member training every month. And I tell them, you've made it with a client when they call you to find a hairdresser for their wife. Then they know, that I'm the only person they call. It doesn't matter. And I'm a roofer.
You the man.
And I got a client calling me for my new girlfriend, new wife, or whatever they need. It's just, that's when you have it going on. So another thing on sales and marketing, you guys are huge on LinkedIn, because we just talked about sales and marketing, where networking is, most people don't think it's part of that, but this is, and we've had this conversation earlier. There's a lot of free stuff on the internet right now while we're all at home. People should go find that. So talk about a couple things you guys have started during coronavirus, whether you wanted to do it or not. So.
Sure.
He's the LinkedIn guy.
I know.
He yells at me all the time.
Yeah. He has like 100 pending invites.
I've got a picture, all right? At least I have a picture.
Who's this guy, Dirk Scott?
And it's not a throw.
Scott's always talking about.
It's not your avatar. So, but anyway, a lot of credit to one of your earlier guests, Deborah Mathias. I mean, again, I've always been savvy on LinkedIn, but she definitely helped me step up and take my LinkedIn game to the next level. But I mean, I'd say one of the things we do is we just make insurance sexy. I mean, it's not a sexy thing, but we bring sex appeal to it. And, it's through our holistic approach that we take with our clients, and through my discovery conversations that I'm adding so much, value to them. And, it's just, I'm going to give credit to Neil Isaacs as well. Neil Isaacs is a huge tagger. It's, hashtag network with Neil. And so, he kind of taught me that. And, it's always pulling from some of the best people out there. He does the great accolade when, hey, thank you for the referral. Don't be too self-promoting of yourself. Everybody's going to learn what you do, and I find that other people can do your commercial for you a lot better than you could do it for yourself. I'm not very comfortable talking about like Dirk's great at it, and I'm probably good at it at home, as my wife would tell you, to your audience, like for Wired to Change, right? Share that, because again, there's a lot of value add to people that listen to your podcast, or Deborah's LinkedIn local event, or Sherry and Lou Everett. So it's just providing value on the post that you put out.
Well, that's why
there.
we started Gaggle with the Geese.
Yep.
And that's something that we've been having fun with. And it just started like, well, how do we use this Zoom thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a Zoom account, and let's just, we paid somebody like $10 to create 2 really nice looking backgrounds that say, the Goosehead Guys, and have our names on it. And so, we got those up, and we said, well, let's just start inviting our referral partners on, and let's just, again, like to Scott's testament, let's not make it about business-ish. Let's not make it about us. we have 3 questions that we really ask, and it's the same questions every single time. So audience that keeps watching it can be like, I wonder what's this person going to say?
Like
or
inside the actor's studio.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Love
yes,
the end of that
Yes,
show.
with a little more personality.
What's your
than
favorite cuss
provided
word?
on
Do you
that.
ask him that one?
Yeah.
I think
like
we're going to replace the nickname. I don't like the nickname question, so we'll replace the cuss word.
Well, but like what we do is, like we always ask, the first question that we ask is, if you can go on a vacation anywhere, where would you go and why? Because I think that's such a broad question, and everybody's so different in what they answer, and you really find out a lot about a person from where do you go to vacation.
Exposes their personality.
Exactly, and that's what we want to do. I mean, because you can talk about your business all you want to, but you're not really letting that referral partner know who you are. So we've had, testaments of people that have been on this said, I have met people because of my answers, because we share those exact same likenesses. The other question is, and we always do a local spotlight question there, where do you eat, where do you drink, so on and so forth. But the other one is, why are you different than everybody else that does your business? Because obviously there's a bunch of realtors. Mm-hmm. Why should somebody go with you? And then the last one's our favorite question is, if you could sit down and have coffee or a drink with anybody dead or alive, who would you have it with and why? Mm-hmm. And it's so fun to listen to people's answers to that. We've had anything from Will Smith and Samuel L. Jackson,
George
and
Washington,
and it's fantastic.
Oh man, I'm grabbing Janis Joplin all day long, and we're having a hell of a time.
But the consistency for people listening on this particular show, you're hearing is you guys created your networking event. Now you've created a podcast that connects you with people in a non-business way. So now, as you said earlier, they go out and do your bidding for you.
That's exactly.
Tell me, so I heard you on the podcast. Oh yeah, those guys are great. You need to call them. Have you noticed, I guess in the last month or so, since you've been a little bit more aggressive out there, that the phone's ringing a little bit more?
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. It's that I call it visibility, credibility, and consistency. And I also need to give a huge shout out to my man Justin Mitchner. So he is with Spartan, and I actually have a social media content creator that puts up all my posts. So no credit to me.
I was
going
to be impressed.
But credit to him on all the great things that he puts out there. So I would encourage anybody out there that needs a custom content guy, give Justin Mitchner a call. And that was introduced to me by Rob Yo, the mortgage pro, actually. Because I was impressed by his content and his LinkedIn post.
But there's so much free and easy stuff on the internet right now while we're sitting at home.
Canva.
Oh, I'm learning that through Drago and my son Cameron. I'm learning. So when I post twice a week on the podcast, through Drago and Cameron, they help me create that image. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but it was free. And it took me, which Drago and Trinity will tell you, not gifted technology-wise, took me about 45 minutes to figure it out. I'm good. So I'm creating another one.
I'm getting another one. I love Big View. Have you guys ever?
No, what is that?
View? Oh, it's so fantastic. What's people's number one reservation of doing any video whatsoever on?
Afraid how they look, or people call them silly.
And what if I can't speak right? Yeah. I can't put a thought together, and it's just going to sound muffled. I'm gonna have to. I don't know how to edit. Big View allows you to type up your script, and you upload it into the app, and then you hit play or record, and it brings it up on your phone, and it just starts scrolling like a teleprompter into the screen right where you're looking at. You can't tell that you are looking at. It is
nice.
Fantastic. You sound like a genius. Well, I guess depends on
you're
what
not
you put
gonna,
in there.
You're not gonna look
if you
like
write
one.
good.
If you write good enough, yeah, you people are like, wow,
you'll be awesome at that.
You do such great videos. Yeah. How do you do that?
Why did a big view fail? So if you guys want to see what a big view, shit show looks like, I got a lot of criticism for the one that I recently put out for Deborah's, LinkedIn local. So she said it looked good. I got a lot of criticism.
You did. I stumbled
because I looked at it.
You did the one the other day. You did the Freddie Mercury Queen black suit, black background. When I saw this, like, man, that's Queen. That's like Freddie Mercury would be doing that.
There's a lot of tricks that for less than $100 on Amazon, you can buy a green screen and decent lighting.
Yeah.
You just throw it up in a corner and and always make sure that the screen is above you looking down rather than you don't want to be like this because that chin just
the
comes
double
up.
chin and
there's
lazy eye.
A lot of tricks. Trust me. Just look up the Goosehead Guys and if you need, give us a call. We'll help you walk through simple tips on how you can be a little bit better on screen.
Definitely. So I have a question for you guys. You're sitting here with two of the best business coaches in the biz. What question do you guys have for us that we can answer for our listeners?
So I'll go first on that. So why should people consider a coach, or what benefit and value do you provide as being the two best coaches in the state of North Carolina? Is what I'd say.
Well, at least in this room.
Well, yeah, we'll go with that.
I'll go with this room. So coaching is so individualized because we are actually talking with a few other coaches because I have a coaching network of people that I refer out because not every client is the right fit for us. Not every person is at a point where they're going to need maybe long-term coaching. Some people need short-term coaching. So for us, we're really helping people that are looking to create processes, systems, sales and marketing procedures, and that want to approach coaching from an accountability and structured standpoint. Now, we'll help with the head junk. I mean, I love getting up in people's heads, but that's not our primary focus. We're much more structured in our approach for how we are coaching someone. And that's not for everybody. Some people just want a venting session. So that's not you guys. Yeah, and that would not be a great client for us because I'm asking them at the end of every session what their homework is, what they're going to have done, what they want to be accountable for the next session. And for someone who does not want that accountability, they're going to be really uncomfortable and we're probably not going to be a great fit.
What I just took away from that, Trinity, is, you guys have a custom tailored approach to the kind of coaching that you do. So it's more of a boutique, coaching that you guys do, and I love that. That's very unique to other coaches and kind of their practices and everything. And you know what coaches to put them with if you two aren't the right fit. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've been in coaching now for 15 years, and I've collected a bunch of amazing coaches. So when I know I love StrengthsFinder, and when I find someone that I think could use, StrengthsFinder, I have somebody to send them to. If I have somebody that I think they can use Colby, I have a Colby coach to send them to. So being able to be that resource for them, because sometimes there's something that is beyond my area of expertise that I know someone else is an expert in.
And we're different in our approach because this is my 5th small business I've owned starting from scratch. I've not done anywhere near the official coaching she's done. She's read more books than I've colored in. But I'm getting better at that, just so I'm starting to read more. But we do it different. So if we're different, why should we make you do it the way we do it? Again, one of the questions I was telling one of our clients today that I learned with my wife years ago is I finally started telling her, let me tell you what I see instead of you telling me what I'm looking for. And once I realized that, life got a whole lot easier when I'm at the grocery store or up in the attic looking for something. Let me tell you what I see. And so we tell our clients that as well. Through your eyes, tell us what you see so we can help you that way instead of saying, here's the box, we're going to make you do this.
Yeah.
Because different lens.
Oh, my God. I don't know what they see and what they want. We don't know what they get accomplished till they tell it, or what they want to accomplish till they tell us that. So that's the beauty of coaching, I think. One of them is we're all different. What do you want to be and what do you want to do and how should we talk to you? We even talk about, we're laughing today, what's a safe word for you when all hell breaks loose and you're down the rabbit hole. Tell us something so we know we're down the rabbit hole with you. Because we may not know you well enough to know you're down the rabbit hole.
For me, it'd be frog. I'm scared of frogs.
That's your safe word, but
Where do I start with that?
Frog on the phone the other day.
frog.
That's not how I know.
But I'll just say you guys have the best reputation out there. I mean, again, everybody knows you both, and I know that I'd be very comfortable referring you to anybody that I come across out there.
Well,
that
thank
needs
you.
that
We appreciate
holistic discovery, coaching tailored approach.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us on.
No, glad to do it.
awesome.
And
Fantastic.
You guys are
people-
awesome.
Yeah, but people have to want to be coached. And we don't want to work with the people that think they know everything.
Coachable,
They're no fun.
trainable,
Yeah.
open.
But
yes.
you and those are the people that want to succeed. And I tell people all the time, you pick me the most successful person in any industry, and I'll tell you, they got a coach. They've got a mentor. They're always reading. They're learning. That's why they're there. And yet you're 7 years in your business, you're still only making $42,000 a year because you won't take advice from anybody.
Yeah.
You tell me what's a smart way to go.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we have fun doing it. I'm glad you guys have a coach. People should have a coach, period, whether it's us or your coach or anybody they know. But just go find somebody that's going to help you because they're going to see it different. But at the end of the day, you got your accountability part, don't you?
For sure.
Because you don't want to show up at your next appointment.
1-to-1.
Yeah,
and
I didn't
have
do that. I was, really? I have to do it every week?
you gotta have a solid framework. And also, if you guys don't know the Smiths, Jenny and Brian Smith with the Culture Index, again, they run a cool assessment that
Yes, I know Brian. We're in a peer group together.
yeah, he's amazing. Love the Smiths.
All right, so where can people find the Goosehead Guys?
Well, at 305 East Main Street, Clayton, next to the Clayton Chamber. If they want to visit us
What
by
did you call it?
appointment only.
The butt crack of North Carolina.
Oh,
What
no,
did you call it?
We're down in the butt at that point. The
butt?
butt crack
Well,
is right there between.
okay.
We have a lot of great restaurants we're by, and of course Deep River Brewing and the Revival.
Yeah, right across from Hometown Realty, right there in downtown Clayton. So
Excellent.
we've got a plethora of wonderful places to eat. So I got to say morose and plethora
In one
this is-
podcast.
Man,
This is
you've had a lot of wins.
That's why he's smiling so much
I've
today,
used
yeah.
all my words. Use your big words.
You have to go find some new ones. So they can find you in Clayton physically.
Physically, yep.
Where else can
And
they find you? Website, social media stuff?
gotthegoose.com.
Yep. And I'm Dyrke. If you type that in, you're not going to find too many other people other than myself. So yeah, Dyrke.
One of the great names. I told you that when you're on my other show. I mean, Dyrke Maricle. How cool is that? That's like Hollywood. Somebody said,
That's the
here.
It sounds like you're supposed to be famous.
Well, it's like, here,
it
John
sounds,
Smith,
yeah.
sit down. We're going to give you a new name. We just created this name. It's one of the great names. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the fame to catch up.
It will. You're well on your way. You're very well known, very well respected, both of you. And now you're going to be very well respected in the insurance industry, Scott. So I'm excited to see your success.
Thank you so much.
So glad to have you guys. We hit on a bunch of things for current and future small business owners to think about, because we've all made our mistakes, but we've all found some things to pat ourselves on the back, and you're allowed to do both. And we'll see you next time on our Wired to Change podcast.